that's why I'm wearing jeans. And my son, like for the next hour was like crying and he was wanting to be with me. And I was like, this is crazy. He's a little baby. Where do you think that came from?
It's evolved into us.
Empathy has hardwired into us through evolution.
Yeah.
How?
We recognize faces. We hear.
It's genetically necessary for the population to survive.
How do animals have empathy?
So I actually understand
what
you're saying, that like you're saying we have this innate ability is kind of what you're saying to recognize something that is good or bad. And I think there is an atheist scholar, Michael Roos, that also agrees and says our morality, our sense of morality is just a genetic evolution that's programmed into us so that we can cooperate with one another. That's what Michael Roos believes. And Richard Dawkins says this universe is just blind, pitiful. There is blind, pitiful, and indifferent. There is no good, there is no bad. So these are atheist scholars that proclaim this. I'm not saying you guys subscribe to that, but what I'm really questioning is going back to the heart of this prompt, right? What is the foundation? So how are you able to say stealing a Jolly Rancher from a kid is worse than slavery, right? Like we have two obvious extremes.
Starting subjective foundation.
We have two obvious extremes, and if you say you start from a subjective foundation, I would say then that is not what's considered true morality.
There are two
because
things.
True morality is objective.
There are two things that make the foundation. Don't hurt other people. That's pretty plain and simple, because you don't want to get hurt, right? We can figure that out in our brains.
But there are times when it's necessary.
True. Sure, but
how are you
morals
able
are flexible.
How are you able to distinguish? And I'm
genuinely
curious. How are you able to distinguish?
The other part is, if you can help. Doesn't matter.
I love that principle.
Right, and that's the foundation.
But what if they say the same thing back to you and they say, "Well, me hurting you is helping me and my family. So who's right here?"
Go back
until it is your family.
I feel like I did answer this with Maslow's hierarchy of needs and the ability of us to see outcomes amongst our own community. You know, and there's been a lot of people who have been abused or enslaved who then internalize that and say, it is good that I'm a slave because I see all these other happy people over there who are benefiting from my work. But they still see that they're suffering. They're still seeing they're having to get up earlier than everybody else.
Humanity has been on a journey of bettering itself over time, little by little, throughout history. We're forming morality as history goes on.
And morality is shifted within the church itself.
This that I'd like to share because, well, in case it even needs to be mentioned, I don't like kids dying, okay? So I don't like that, in case it has to be said.
We weren't sure.
Yeah, in case it has to be said for the comments. But my point is, right, you're about human life and flourishing and life and living, right? And not about killing kids. Well, the problem is that I consider abortion a human life.
Yeah,
and what science are you using to say that they're not
And here's
alive?
the problem and why you face so much pushback, because you can't make laws against other people.
But then when it comes to Iceland, when it comes to Denmark, when mothers find out their kid's gonna have Down syndrome, 99% of those kids are aborted.
And nobody here wants to pay the taxes to take care of those kids,
I'm actually glad that you brought up abortion, because that was not a linchpin in the Christian political movement until extremely recently.
Until the 70s.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it is theologically grounded. So let's say we both disagree on abortion, right? Because we have a firm foundation of true morality, we consult the book. And when we see this book, it describes...
Why would you do that?
Well, this is our firm foundation. You have a shifting one. So I'm just explaining where we come from.
You guys have a shifting one too.
Yours has shifted.
We have a shifting interpretation, but that foundation has never changed.
So
I think you're misunderstanding. This might help.
I'm just going to explain.
No, this might help you understand. No, you say you have a shifting interpretation. You said that.
Yeah, we're not all going to 100%
We consider that shifting a change. We
Yes,
don't
but
consider that.
we have an objective foundation.
That's what you're saying. But
So
when
when
it was different, they would have said the same thing. Yes. They would have said, nope, ours doesn't change, we're right. When there were Christians that were okay with slavery, they would have said what you're saying.
Exactly what you're saying.
Can I finish talking about
what I was saying? I don't think you were getting
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, and maybe this will kind of answer. If it doesn't, please ask again. I'm sorry. But what I was saying is, let's say we both disagree on what abortion is, or if it's good or bad. Christians still do. But what we do is, as Christians, we subscribe to a moral foundation. Whether you like it or not, it's the Bible. And in the Bible, we see that when Jesus was in the womb, he was next to John the Baptist, who was also in the womb. They both leapt. So in that, we see from a biblical point of view, it describes personhood in the womb. So I can look at my brother. If he's against abortion, I can say, brother, objectively, it says that there is life. Jesus was alive in the womb. John the Baptist was alive in the womb. Objectively, as a Christian, we're all made in the imago Dei, the image of God.